don't compare yourself to big YouTubers because it is true what everyone says that comparison is the thief of joy. That is absolutely the truth. And I know it can be really easy to make these comparisons because, you'll be taking inspiration from your favorite creators, you'll be doing a lot of research on the app, and it just naturally happens. I know it's happened a lot for me, especially when it comes to people who make like artsy content or vlogging content, which is something that I want to do later on down the line. But it's great to have that inspiration out there just to let the thing that I want to do is out there. It's totally possible for me to do because, like I keep saying on this channel, anything that you want to do, you can totally do. It's just when it comes to comparing, that is a very dangerous situation. Um, Everybody has to start from nothing, right? Everybody has to put in the work to grow. Just like watering a plant, that has to be done with the things that we are trying to accomplish. We can't just wake up and everything is already perfect. There's work that needs to be done. There's work put into anything that you want to do, really. Even if it's something as simple as making something, creating something, crafting something, you have to put in the work. The thing about the work is that you got to enjoy what you're doing. You can't really put too much pressure on yourself, and you just have to let things happen because you're doing what you need to do on your end. In my notes, I put YouTube isn't the same anymore because that's absolutely true. I keep saying times have changed, but that's just it. Like, YouTube isn't the type of platform anymore where you can just make a random video and post it. Not necessarily, unless you get extremely lucky. Or like I've said before, you've already got a massive following and they follow you over to YouTube. And that happens all the time. But that does not mean that that is something that should discourage you from getting on the app or the platform and just making your content and posting it. I know it's very intimidating to see like somebody out of the blue just blow up on YouTube and they've posted like one or two videos, but just know that for a lot of people that is not the norm. There's so many different channels that's been started, and they kind of don't go anywhere because someone lost the drive to keep going with it. But you are not one of those people. Neither am I. I'm still out here trying no matter what, and that's the type of energy that we need on this platform because there's so many great people who have so many things to say and to just give to the world, and I think YouTube is the best platform to do that, especially with what happened with the clock app. Okay, I'm not even gonna say the name because there's too much going on over there. So, and I was talking with someone recently about it, and they made a good point. I'm kind of veering away from my notes on this video topic here, but we were talking about how, the whole TikTok situation is crazy. And they mentioned, and I agree, that it's not the best idea to put all of your eggs in one basket, which, like I said, I agree with that. I feel like YouTube is more of a secure platform in comparison to short form content, based platforms like TikTok, because anything that happens with that app, it could potentially seriously get wiped. Like, you've seen all these influencers out here admitting that some of their content or most of their content is fake just to get views and whatnot. And while that's messy, that just instilled a lot of fear into people, the fact that a platform like that could just get wiped, And another version of this situation, TikTok could still not be here today. Like, we know it is, but just say, for instance, they actually took it serious and they didn't restore the platform or anything in the US. Then it's like, if that's your main platform, that's a bit dangerous. But yeah, if you later on down the line, especially if you're only focusing on YouTube, definitely figure out a way to capture your audience beyond the platform, whether that be a different platform, maybe something a little bit more secure than TikTok, or an email list. People make those all the time. Blogs, if you want. Blogs are pretty cool, but that's a different story. The next thing that I had in my notes is your journey is unique to you. Chef's kiss. That's the beautiful thing about, everybody making their own version of something on this platform. Like, my story for YouTube is pretty unique from other people because I've said it before, but I've started a lot of channels that I didn't stick with, and my journey in navigating, trying my best to avoid niching down, has been a very unique experience for me, because people have their different version of not niching down, right? They can go from making content about food to clothes to cars to, fitness content and whatnot. But my journey has been, let's make this channel, let's make a few videos. This doesn't feel right. Okay, I'm gonna make another channel and see if that one sticks. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of different people who have done the same thing, but I also find it interesting when other people, especially if they're newer to the platform, they start multiple different channels and they end up growing all of them or only one. And then with that one, if they niche down, are they burnt out? Like, it's a whole thing. Speaking of TikTok, right? I had a TikTok page that I grew to over 2,000 followers, and that's the most amount of followers I had on any platform. And I got burnt out because I was doing music curation on that account, which is basically recommending music to people, recommending songs and making playlists and whatnot. And I still think about it every now and again because that's something that I do miss doing. But TikTok is just an iffy platform for me. It just never felt permanent to me. And the fact that I got burnt out because I was like pumping out content trying to grow, right? And if I'm niche down in something, I am totally more likely to get burnt out, which is the same for a lot of people. So that's why I'm not too crazy about niching necessarily, but for something within that sort of category, it is easier to niche down. I've tried doing something a little bit similar on YouTube. Like, I've posted that TikTok content onto one of my channels, my music reaction channel that I had. And that was pretty nice. The reception from that was pretty okay, but I got burnt out because I'm just not into niching. I did, start that other music channel where I just did music reviews, but that was pretty cool. But I felt like I had a different kind of bigger purpose on YouTube, so I kind of put that on the back burner for a little bit, and I started this channel, and this has been really nice so far. So something like that I could possibly go back to at a later date, but I think the best thing that you can do is to focus on one thing at a time. And if you're focusing on that one thing, then that can definitely lead to burnout and feeling intimidated, especially bringing it back to making comparisons. If you're focused on one thing and you're making comparisons to people who have already been in the game for a minute, of course you're going to feel intimidated. Of course you're going to feel knocked down. You know, of course you're going to feel like, why am I even trying when this person over here is like way ahead and they're doing awesome? I don't think I have like the energy to keep going. And that's not okay. Don't give up. Just because somebody is making similar videos to you, if you're somebody who chooses to niche down, if somebody's making the same, you know, niche videos as you, even then, so what? Like, everybody has a unique experience. Everybody has something to contribute to the conversation. The people say very often that YouTube is saturated, and I understand because there's a lot of people posting on the platform. But how many people are actually posting consistently? Yes, there's a lot of people posting and making channels, but how many of them are actually posting to the point where they hit that 1,000 subscribers and the 4,000 hours of watch time? You know, there are more people posting on the platform that don't reach that milestone, you know, than the people who actually do and keep going. And it's totally okay if you just want to post for fun. That's always an option and that's a great thing to do. But I mean, just don't let anything stop you, right? It's the saturation thing, I understand because, you know, it's very common for a lot of people to not get a crazy amount of views. But again, so what? Like, you should just post anyway. Just keep posting anyway, because if you're consistent and the platform sees that you're actually serious and that you care enough, it's going to start pushing your content, especially if, you know, you did your titles and everything correctly, then that'll be totally fine. The platform will love you then. So keep at it, you know. The next thing that I have in my notes is the people that you might be comparing yourself to have probably been on the platform way longer than, you know, you have in terms of posting, which is totally fine. It's okay. Just don't compare your numbers to anybody who's up there, because that mountain would feel impossible to climb. That sort of milestone would feel impossible, and it's not. It's not. You just have to dedicate yourself to this, and you have to keep going. You have to be serious about it. You got to be consistent, and I know that's an annoying thing to hear, but like, it's serious. Like, you can't post 2 videos and feel like, you know, all right, it's over. You can't really do that unless you're serious about quitting. And you shouldn't be, because we're not quitting at all. But yeah, it's just the people who have been posting on the platform for much longer have that advantage of time. You know, they started posting a while ago, years ago even. There's so many like big content creators who have been on the platform for like over 10 years. And that's if they didn't like peace out on YouTube just yet. And that's why it's just like, you can't compare yourself to that. The math doesn't math when you put it like that. Go back to their first videos and watch those and just see the difference and improvement. Just see, you know, the difference in the sound quality and the video quality and the things that they were talking about in their videos and what, you know, was trending at the time. And it's so different nowadays, and that's why it doesn't necessarily make sense to compare yourself to somebody who has, you know, 280,000 subscribers and you've posted 3 videos. Come on now. Like, you can post more, and you'll get there. You will get there, I promise you. Just keep going. I just came from outside from walking the dog, and I'm kind of suffering now right now. Anyway, yeah, but none of that has to stop you. You know, everything happens when it's meant to. Everything happens when it's meant to. I've been going at it on YouTube for how long? 2022. So it's been 3 years since I've been trying to get something going on YouTube. And every time I think I'm done, I'm not. I keep coming back. I just had to figure out what my purpose was on the platform. And that's why I said in a previous video, if you figure out what your goal is for your channel, that's a little bit easier than trying to niche down. If you're able to niche, that's great. More power to you. But if not, go with the goal. And that way, that'll guide you a little bit better on how you can help other people, you know? That's a great thing to do. And yeah, inspiration is everything, but comparison is literally a thief. It will take all of the fun and the happiness out of the thing that you want to do, and you cannot let that happen. You cannot let it happen. I'm sorry if I sound nasally and everything, but I gotta say what I gotta say. I'm sorry. Like, you can't let the comparison get to you. Not to the point where you're like, I'm just gonna give up. You know? That's a crazy decision to make. To just be like, yo, I'm gonna just give up. Like, they don't need to hear my story. They don't need to know a part of who I am. I'm just gonna stop and give up. Absolutely not. Don't do that. Don't do that. All of us are very unique, and we all have things to offer, and we have things to share. Perspective is very important, and that's why I look forward to sharing a little bit more about like my YouTube journey as I keep making videos, because I think that YouTube is a hard platform, but it's not impossible to do what you want to do and to get to the place that you want to get to. And like I said in another video, I can tell you what not to do. I haven't been monetized or anything yet on any channels, and you know, I haven't grown anything huge here just yet, but it's gonna happen for me, just like I know it's gonna happen for you. So we're gonna get there together. We're gonna get there. And you know, I appreciate everybody who's left comments and who subscribed. I will keep saying that in every video because I genuinely mean that. And I'm thankful, and I hope that we find what we need to find, and we figure out what we need to figure out to keep pushing and to keep growing, because I'm here with you basically. And just don't keep comparing yourself. The things that you want to do and the things that you want to make are very unique to you. I need to keep painting. I have so many canvases in here, and I look for inspiration for paintings that I want to do all of the time. But funnily enough, with that, I've come to a good spot where I'm just like, that does not have to be perfect. Anything that I paint doesn't have to be perfect, as long as I actually do it. As long as I actually put the paint onto the canvas and complete the work and keep going after that work is completed, just keep making things, keep creating things, then I will feel satisfied. And that's the direction that I'm going in on this channel. So post with me, please. We can do this. Just don't compare yourself to the bigger creators, because they're already there. They're already there. It's our turn now. We're here now.